Assassin's Creed. One of the best games I ever played in my life. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Jordan, and you guys know the big deal right now. If you watch the three of the other videos about Gears of War, Fortnite, and Black Ops 4 better Blackout, you should know what I'm going to be talking about. But yeah, Assassin's Creed, it's one of the best games I ever played as a child. And I still today have all of the games. Only I'm missing one. Yeah, I'm missing one, which is Unity, but yeah, Assassin's Creed, oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. My first ever Assassin's Creed game, it was somewhere between 3 or the Ezio series. I don't remember which one, but I immediately loved this game ever since I first played one of those games. I don't remember which one, but I remember it was between either Assassin's Creed 3 or the Ezio series. Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft, the developers that made this game, they made it so very, very well, and this is like one of my top favorite games that has the best narrative story. I would like to see anybody to disagree with me with that, just to tell me what's the most better narrative game. I know there's other narrative games out there, but you can't beat Assassin's Creed, because like I feel like it has more story to it. Here we have a beginning when you're in Assassin's Creed 1. I'm going to explain the whole series in a short amount of minutes, so prepare for some spoilers. If you don't want to hear it, click off now. I only remember certain of what I am capable of remembering. So, Assassin's Creed 1. You start off as a character named Desmond Miles, and he's captured by these corporations of Sturgo. They're the Templars, and Desmond, they want Desmond to find an artifact called the Apple of Eden, which is what the Templar wants to order to control the people. But Desmond has ancestors, Ezio, Altair, and Connor. They're assassins. They're his ancestors. So throughout this quest, you go through your ancestors' memories, find it. So at the end, they found the Apple of Eden, and then you just go back to rest. Or that's how I think it was. So Assassin's Creed 2, you get broken out of the Sergo from the help with a friend of Lucy, which is the girl that helps you with the Animus. So she breaks you out, then you have a 2.0 of Animus, and then you meet these two other people. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm just gonna add that just in case. So through this one, you go through the memory of the second ancestor, which is Ezio Auditore, who I think is the best assassin throughout the whole series, because you get 3 games of him. You got Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. What's interesting about this story is just you live through Ezio as a young adult to an old man, and that's really, really like the best I can ever experience, because now you start from being a man or a boy or a young adult whose family that has been murdered or hanged, his father, his 2 brothers, and then his father told him to go back to his house to go look for a secret room, and spoiler, his father used to be an assassin, and now Ezio himself becomes an assassin, follow his father's footsteps, and doing finding the quest of Altair's lost memories or whatever. What's really, really fascinating about the whole Ezio series is when you go through different types of conflicts. As a young man, he finds out that his father used to be an assassin. He follows in his footsteps. In Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, he rebuilds the Brotherhood in different locations. Not only there's in Rome, it's also in Italy, and different other places. I don't remember off the top of my head. Then the Revelations one, when you finally went to the castle where Altair's first Brotherhood ever began, and to find the more memories, and then you have to collect all these discs, and then you access this library, which really isn't a library, it's a vault that Altair trapped himself in, because he wanted to keep the Apple of Eden far away from anybody's hands, because the Apple of Eden is one of the artifacts that once you touch it, it'll corrupt you and it'll make you become like a tyrant of some sort, or a king. And then he did that so no Templar or any other people could have this power. So when Ezio Ezio went to the vault and saw Altair's corpse, he played the last memory of him. Throughout these discs, these discs records a memory of Altair that wasn't been in the first Assassin's Creed games, which I find is so fascinating about. But there's nothing too much afterwards. There's another Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed China or something. I don't have that game, but if I can try to get it, I'll show you some gameplay. But at the end, Ezio dies of his natural causes of his old age. And it was pretty heartbreaking, because, like I said earlier, you live through this man's life throughout 3 games. It's the best series. It's like the best narrative you can ever get in an Assassin's Creed game, when it only takes one full game to understand the whole story. But this one took longer. It extended more, and that's what's the beauty of it. But Ezio dies of natural causes. It made me cry, because like I fell in love with this character and I felt more connected to it, because like I said, you go through his life through 3 different games, different conflicts, and knowing all these dramatic events that happen to him, and yet he still fights for the greater good of the Templars. And now we move on to Assassin's Creed 3. When you're in this cave of some sort and hop onto the Animus, you play as this man called Haytham Kenway. He brings up the gang, makes the whole Templar gang, and he fell in love with this Indian woman, gave birth to a son, and his son, Connor Kenway, as people like to call it. He's young and he's training, but his mother died because of the Templars' hands of Haytham, but it was a waste of time, but yet they did it anyway without Haytham knowing that they burned down the village of where Connor lives, and his mother died right in front of him. So then when he was an adult, somewhere in an adult age, he met a man named Achilles. Achilles was a former assassin back in his day, but now he's in his old age and lives in the house in the wilderness where the animals and people are. But they're out begging him. He finally let Connor in and takes training, multiple trainings, and Connor finally proves himself to Achilles' eyes that he's worthy to be assassin. But there used to be a ceremony, but now it's just him and Achilles. So Connor becomes an assassin, and he kills off the rest of the targets of his father's gang, and including he kills his dad, which is kind of like sad in a way, but like also like not at the same time, because Haytham tried to kill his son not multiple times, but not that much. And they both are different in some sort, because Haytham is a Templar. He sees order as a thing to prevent chaos, but assassins want freedom. But freedom is good in not being controlled. But you see the two opposites in a way, because order brings chaos and everything else in check. But bringing freedom can cause chaos. You don't want to be too controlled, but you don't want to be too much freed. You see the conflict between these two. And that's what they lies differ between each other. They want order, and the other ones want freedom. But it's all up to them in their hands to see. So then Connor finds this artifact, the Apple of Eden, and it disintegrates. So yeah, that's pretty nostalgic. But they added in this device of some sort and left it buried there in Achilles' grave. Then when Desmond finally finishes with his Animus, he went to decide whether or not to touch this globe. This globe is when if you touch it, it's gonna release these spirits called Juno, and I don't know the other girl's name, But Juno's the girl that causes chaos in Assassin's Creed 3, and I don't know about the other girl's name, but if you don't touch it, Desmond would just, like, live through the life, and people will remember him. But Juno causes chaos, but people will still live afterwards, so you can kind of see how that realizing each other. So Desmond sacrifices himself, and he dies, but people still had theories that he still would have been alive. But no, not really. So we move on to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, is when we went to inside of a Abstergo employee. This man has no clue of what he applied for, so he doesn't make him like a Templar, but does in some people's cases. But he goes through the Kenway's memories. So you play this man as Edward Kenway. He is the father of Haytham Kenway and grandfather of Connor Kenway. So the whole Kenway family line connects to each other. So Kenway was just a pirate, just looking for plunder or just looking for money and booze and women. That's what all pirates do. But now he engages a ship where Assassin was there. And Assassin, both of them watched up the next day, and he asked Kenway to make a ship, or to sell a ship, just to meet a man, a Templar. So Assassin was betraying the Assassin Brotherhood just to be with the Templar. So he kills him, takes his identity, and went to Havana, and yeah, he becomes a Templar now, but he finds the prize he was looking for, the Sage. The Sage is when you're both Assassin, one eye of an assassin and one eye of a Templar. You're neither both. So you kind of see how that works out. You may be good in their eyes, but maybe bad in their eyes. So it's kind of a conflict between those two. So, okay, let me go. Long story short, they find this observatory is when you require anybody's blood and you can see what's happening now through their perspective, through their eyes. Assassin's got it, and Edward has a daughter. Then later, he has a son named Haytham. That's all I'm gonna really say about that. So let's move on to Syndicate. Yeah, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So this one's kind of pretty straightforward. So I like the idea when they made this video game, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So you start off as an assassin, and you went to locate this artifact before the Templar does. Assassin touches this artifact and causes destructions of the city, and then he betrays his assassin brotherhood because he doesn't want an innocent life being touched because of their order of what they think it's right. So he betrays, he dies, kind of, and then people rescue him. He becomes a Templar now through helping out this one guy, and he becomes a member. And there is a conflict between the storyline because he kind of encounters Haytham Kenway, which is also a Templar, but I'm not going to make that video. People already made that video, so we should go look that up. So you can just put Haytham Kenway and Shay Patrick Cormatt in the title, and there's going to be videos about that. So, long story short, they recovered the last artifact. Him and Haytham, and then Achilles, a younger version of Achilles that you see in Assassin's Creed 3, is now Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the younger version, and he understands everything, and the whole limp thing is when Haytham shot him in the leg, so that's why he was limping. And then Shay is now like an assassin hunter or whatever. He's killing all assassins because he doesn't want them to get in their plans or in their details. Where is he at this point? I'm not really sure. So this one's got to be a conflict. So Shay went to France to kill an assassin that was carrying the precursor that showed us the locations of more artifacts. More artifacts is what Abstergo, the Templars, wanted. So then you kill the father, and then that goes off. That's like somewhere in the end of the game. So you killed the assassin. Well, it was a man that was an assassin, but yeah, that's how it goes off. And we move on to Assassin's Creed Unity. So this part is going to be really confusing. So there was a boy that was in France with his father, and the father is what I mentioned earlier that Shay Cormatt killed. He killed a man who was part of the Assassin's Brotherhood. that man was the father of a son named Arno, and Arno's dad was murdered by a man, and Shakor murdered that man because he was an assassin. So, long story short, he followed in his father's footsteps, becoming an assassin, and he recovered a sword, ancient sword. I don't know what that is, and I don't know what goes on from there. So that's how much little I know about it, because I never played the campaign, and I'm fixing to get it pretty soon. Excuse me, if I can find it, and I'll buy it definitely, and I'll play it with you guys and update this video if I wanted to. So then you go. So this one's what I recently played. I think 2, 3, 4 months ago. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. So this one is in London. London is where you're these twins who fake join the Brotherhood, or like received a distress signal, and they haven't fully ready to become the Brotherhood, but they lied their way in to say they are the Brotherhood, even though their parents before them were part of the Brotherhood. So long story short, for this one, you've recovered an artifact that lets you heal, and then yeah, that's really about it. Then Assassin's Creed Origins. This one was a really big of a doozy. So this one is when you go all the way back to for Egypt and all that, King Pharaohs and Cleopatra, all that stuff. You become this man named Bayek, who's a guardian of the people, or else that's what I think it is. Then he kills all these people and receives new weapon upgrades, like the hidden blade, what was first introduced when he lost his finger. And the whole tradition through Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed 1 is when you need to sacrifice your ring finger to order to not have any more people in your life to be endangered for. So if it was required to do that, but now Assassin's Creed 2 all the way to Syndicate, it's gotta be like, you don't need the sacrifice at all of your ring finger. So you don't need to worry about that. So yeah, Bayek actually does lose his finger. Then he kills all the people who made him murder his son, which is really messed up. So he killed all. So he killed all the guys and recovered this artifact. I think this was the Apple of Eden. I wasn't too sure. I may need to go back to my gameplay, see what I played during that time. But yeah, and the Brotherhood was really formed from that way, and they call themselves from code names like the Hidden Ones, but now it was later learned they named themselves the Assassins. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Origin. But I'm missing a lot of details, but I don't want to go in depth because I'm making this video as long as 20 minutes almost. And now here we are to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I don't know how to pronounce that. If you guys know, just leave it down. But yeah, I kind of like this kind of direction that they're taking, and when they're implementing real world life stuff into the game, like how I mentioned earlier, Origins is all about ancient Greece, Asian like Egyptians, pharaohs, and stuff like that. And this one's going to be around Rome, like Rome mythic, like Greek. Oh, that's what I was missing. Greek mythology in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You get to be a girl or a guy. I kind of like that. And that the story's going to be told from a different perspective, because we're in ancient Greece, Rome, or Greek right now, and we're going to see through a different point of view of what the conflict is going to be about. Hopefully it's going to be really good. I am really excited for it, because I was a big sucker back then for the Assassin's Creed series, to continue on and just add a little bit of innovation into it. That's what all games need. But yeah, Odyssey, I have really high hopes for it, and I hope the story goes very well. I hope it's like in depth and gives you all these nice knowledge you get just from experiencing the game and taking it all in when you keep playing and playing. So yeah, I have high hopes for Odyssey. I like the whole mythology and all that. I'll leave a link down in the description below with the video of it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Losing my voice. Hope you guys enjoy this video type of commentary I did about Assassin's Creed. I love it so much, and I hope Odyssey does very, very well when it came out. Let me know your thoughts about Assassin's Creed down in the comments below. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new. Turn on those bells. And yeah, my name is Chronicles. 239, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.